So your boy's only 18 years late, but I am finally playing Bioshock 1, the game that allows the player to experience the power of lightning, fire, telekinesis, and most importantly, illicit substances, all the while exploring the underwater paradise that is Rapture. This first Bioshock has a difficulty of 4 out of 10 with one playthrough in 15 hours. Now that's just what the guide says. Do you want to know what GamerMonkey reckons? A 3 out of 10 difficulty, 2 playthroughs at least. And for me, 16 hours, so still not too bad of a platinum hunt, but I won't bore you all anymore. The video is already long enough, so let's jump into the amazing world of Bioshock. So as I'm sure you'd come to expect from my platinum experiences, the first step was to just play through the game and just simply try to have some fun, and oh boy did I have fun. I mean, the very first trophy I got was called Toaster in the Tub for electrocuting enemies while they're in some water. If that doesn't pique your interest, I really don't know what will.
Smile! Smile!
Anyways, yeah, I had a lot of fun with Bioshock's story. I had of course heard of Bioshock and its 2 sequels in the past, but I had never had the chance to play through it for myself, so here I am today. The story of Bioshock follows our main character after their plane crashes into the ocean, killing all passengers inside except our playable character, because plot armor, I guess? And for the sake of the plot, the plane just so happens to have crashed just outside the entrance to Rapture, the underwater wonderland brought to life by this man, Andrew Ryan. A man who hates communism and capitalism all the same, and basically told all the world governments to shove their rules where the sun doesn't shine because he's gonna live under the sea. Throughout our journey to get back to the surface, we are joined by our boy Atlas, who basically uses us to try and save his wife and daughter and supposedly help us reach the surface. Anyways, the next trophy we got was for simply completing the first mission. And now on the next mission, I got a few quick and easy hacking related trophies out of the way. First, I successfully hacked a security bot. And because this was my very first successful hack, I got another trophy for that. Soon after, I successfully hacked my first vending machine. And I then got stuck on this part of the level for a solid 30 minutes, just staring at this chunk of ice and slowly losing my mind.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
That was until I eventually found a new power-up. Who would have thought that fire melts ice? Crazy, right? Once I finally combined my 2 brain cells to realize that hot and cold don't mix, I successfully hacked my first safe. I then stumbled across this crazy doctor, ripping people apart for the craziest and stupidest reasons. I mean, this man's brain is more fucked than a pocket pussy in a lonely man's home. And I mean that in the most literal, disgusting sense possible. Yeah, I don't know why I said that either. Let's please just move on. After this, I stumbled across my first little sister. Now, should I either harvest the little girl, or should I rescue her? Quite a tough decision. I don't care. I rescued her. Low-key, the only reason I did this was for the trophy that I get for doing a playthrough without harvesting any little sisters. So yeah, you better be grateful for that trophy, little girl, as your life is in its hands. I then purchased at least 1 slot in my plasmid track. Just a fancy power-up, pretty much. I then unlocked the best item in this entire trilogy, the research camera. Yep, it's a camera. And for taking my first photo of a splicer, I got another trophy. And not long after, I took a research photo of the absolute highest grade. Yep, just call me, Deanne Arbus? Sure. That works. And get used to this camera because I have to use it I don't even know how many times in the rest of the game. I then unlocked the U-Invent station. I then took down our next target by just hauling his own Molotovs back at him. And after this, acquired my first weapon upgrade for that trophy. I then got 2 more hacking trophies, one for hacking a turret and another for hacking a security camera. I then fully upgraded my very first weapon. Machine gun on top, am I right, chat? In this part of the story, I was trying to basically restore oxygen to Rapture, so I had to run around collecting a bunch of water and like honey and shit. I don't even know, but once I eventually collected everything and made the special gas needed to restore the tree, I got our next story trophy.
Then
The next trophy I got was called Ammo Inventor for successfully inventing all possible ammo types. This is super easy as there's like 5 craftable ammo types in the entire game, so that was super easy. And talking about easy, I then abused save scumming to invent 100 items. I then spent a solid 20 minutes of my playtime gambling, and once I got the big jackpot, I got the lucky winner trophy. Now my current goal in the story was to make my way to Andrew Ryan and end him. But on the way I got quite a few trophies. I managed to full research the thuggish Splicer, the Spider Splicer, the Leadhead Splicer, and the Houdini Splicer, the most annoying enemy in the entire game. I also managed to fully upgrade my second weapon, and not long after I upgraded my third weapon. At some point I stumbled across this man Sander Cohen, a sicko who tasked me with killing certain people and then photographing their corpses. But once I completed his section and did not kill him, I got another trophy. I had to be very careful not to kill him here, otherwise I'd miss out on some trophies later on. And then, just before facing Andrew Ryan, I managed to purchase every upgrade in one of the slots. And then I finally met Andrew Ryan, the inventor of Rapture, face to face.
Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Yeah, so it turns out I'm a slave, and Atlas is a big baddie. That would explain why the trophy for defeating Andrew Ryan wasn't the final boss trophy. And now our goal is to stop Atlas, or I guess Frank Fontaine, the mafia boss. I then activated my inner Diane Arbus once again and took at least one trophy of every enemy. Oh, remember that Sander Cohen character? Well, I managed to make my way into his personal quarters.
What do you mean by that?
Whoa, not like that. I'm just here for the trophy. I promise. And while I was here, I used his weapon upgrade station to upgrade my 4th weapon. And then, just to show that there's nothing sus between us, I then killed him and ironically took a picture of his corpse. We're so close to battling Fontaine, but first I complete my 50th successful hack. And fully research both the Nitro Splicer and Bouncer enemies. I managed to break out of Fontaine's mind control and fully upgraded my 5th weapon. I then got to become one of those Big Daddy enemies for the final boss fight. And just before I faced off against Fontaine, I purchased every plasmid. I then finally battled Fontaine. Quite the easy boss fight. Well, to be fair, all of them are. This game is 18 years old. But basically, you just drain him of his atom after each stage as he switches between the different elements, and then we witness as the little sister's stabbed into death.
Inside your head!
Then there was a very heartfelt cutscene basically showing us that our main character and all the little sisters made it out of Rapture and became one giant family pretty much. Oh, and I also got the trophy for successfully beating the game without harvesting a single little sister. I now only have 11 trophies left until the Platinum Trophy, and for the rest of these I will be having to start a new Game Plus playthrough on Survivor difficulty. Throughout this playthrough I have to not only not die for I Choose the Impossible trophy, but I also have to harvest every little sister and fully research the little sisters and the last Big Daddy type remaining for those research related trophies. But I then have to find every audio diary, over 120 of them, collect or invent 58 tonics, and then finally acquire all possible upgrades for all my weapons. There's also the Seriously Good at This, Man Chooses, and the Brass Balls trophies for various difficulty related stuff, but the difficulties thankfully stack, so just by getting the I Choose the Impossible trophy, I'll get the rest. Okay, that's enough exposition, let's start our new Game Plus playthrough. Now the guide I use states that there is a glitch that allows me to play through the game on any difficulty and just switch it to Survivor at the very end and still get all the trophies. So obviously I'm going to abuse that by playing on the easiest difficulty on New Game Plus to keep all my upgrades. First I had to make sure I disabled Vita Chambers and then I could finally start playing. For the most part this playthrough was the same as the first, except for the fact that I'm super overpowered this time around. Oh, and I followed a guide to collect all the audio diaries and tonics needed. Link in the description as always. Here is their channel. Please go subscribe to them. The first trophies I got were from fully researching the Rosie Big Daddy. And not long after I completed my research on the little sister. I then finally got my 5th weapon fully upgraded. While trying to do another trophy, I managed to collect my 58th tonic. And not long after, I maxed out all possible research. For this trophy, you have to do turrets and security bots and cameras as well. Even though they don't have their individual trophies, you still need to do them. I then managed to save my last little sister. Thought I did this the first time around, but oh well. And not long after, I finally got every audio diary. I could not have done the tonic or audio logs without the amazing guide by PS5 Trophies. Again, I will leave a link to his channel in the description. He's truly a master when it comes to trophy guides. And now for the final 4 trophies. All of these are the last difficulty related ones. So I utilized the glitch that the guide mentioned earlier to get them all at once. First, there was seriously good at this for hard mode. Then brass balls for hard mode without vita chambers. Then a man chooses for survivor difficulty. And finally, I chose the impossible for survivor difficulty without vita chambers. And then the platinum trophy.
They offered you the...
And yes, before you say anything, I did try the DLC. I do know that it exists, but you could not pay me enough to even get a single trophy in this DLC. Well, I mean, that depends on how much you're offering. No, but like, honestly, fuck that DLC. It's a bunch of time trials and more collectibles that are just not fun. That's just not fun to me. Save those for your Crash Bandicoots. But for me and my Bioshock, no thank you. So yeah, that was my Bioshock Platinum experience, and I can't believe I waited so long to play this absolute masterpiece of a game. This work of art, this S-tier gaming experience, well, you get the point. It's a great game, and I loved every second of it. Even when I had to collect over 120 audio diaries, I still loved it. Normally, I wait to see the response of a game on the channel before I make a video of a sequel, but nah. Bioshock 2 is already on my radar, so be sure to subscribe for that banger. Anyways, if you watched this far, I appreciate you, and I will see you all in my next upload. Peace.